in a slump. I'm in a reading slump. Yay. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys, and welcome back to another video. I am in a reading slump, guys, and I don't like it here. I have books to read. Why am I in a slump? It doesn't make sense. So in order to get out of this reading slump, I have picked up a couple of books that I think will be 5-star books. Two of these books are by authors that I have never read before, but I've only heard amazing things. And then the other one, I've read 2 books by that author. So first we have Open Water by Caleb Azumah Nelson. I think this book is about 2 best friends who kind of fall in love with each other. A few of my favorite authors wrote blurbs for this book. Yeah, just said a love song to black art and thought. And Candace Carty-Williams, who wrote Queenie, says beautiful, powerful. A tender and touching love story, beautifully told. It has won a couple of awards and been nominated for something. Actually, I've started this book. I just want to read you guys this quotes that this is like on first page. Somewhere in the prologue it says, "The gaze requires no words at all. It's an honest meeting. You came here to speak of shame and its relation to desire. There should be no shame in openly saying, I want this. There should be no shame in not knowing what one wants. You came here to ask her if she remembers how urgent that kiss was. Twisted in her covers in the darkness. No words at all. An honest meeting. You saw nothing but her familiar shape. You listened to her gentle, measured breaths and understood what you wanted." I'm a sucker for good writing, and it is the month of love. I think just also falling in love with fictional characters. Amazing. I love when the romance is black. So I'm really looking forward into reading this book and being in love and being giddy, because the writing so far has just made me smile. And yeah, I'm really excited to get into this book. And next one we have is We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. And I know that a lot of people have said this book deals with a lot of grief. If you're new here on my channel, I love books that deal with grief. Books that can make you cry. I think it's such an amazing talent to be able to weave in words to create an emotion that will make me feel so deeply that I cry. This is a letter from a son to a mother who cannot read. Written when the speaker, little dog, is in his late 20s, the letter unearths a family's history that began before he was born. It tells of Vietnam, of the lasting impact of war and his family's struggles to forge a new future. And it serves as a doorway into parts of little dog's life his mother has never known. Episodes of bewilderment, fear, and passion, all the while moving closer to an unforgettable revelation. I'm really looking forward into reading this book. A lot of people have spoken so highly of Ocean Vuong, and also I think I will be able to get out of this reading slump because these are short books. This is like 230 something pages. Hold on. Oh my gosh, this is 144 pages. I really be wanting to read. I want to get back to my first love, you guys. And the third book that I want to get into that I don't have currently on with me is called A Love Song for Ricki Wilde by Tia Williams. This is actually my book club's read. I am a curator for a book club that is based here in Durban. I cannot wait to actually read this book because I've only heard like really mixed reviews for this book. It's either you love it or you hate it. And I've only read 2 books by Tia Williams. One that I absolutely loved and adored, the other one not so much. This will gonna be a tiebreaker for me. I'm just excited to get into reading all of these 5-star predictions. I really have high expectations. I'm gonna be sad if I'm let down. Things that I'm looking for, obviously, I like that it's short. I need the writing to move me. Also the plot, I need the plot to be good. I need the tension to be amazing, okay? I need to be just like, next page. That's what I'm looking for to get out of this reading slump. Let me stop yapping and let's get into reading. Am I a cat? I must be a cat. I am going to love this book because the writing's already amazing. And also the chapters are like short. Makes me feel like moving right along. Basically, this boy is recalling the introduction but is retelling it to someone else. Right? And he says, "You'll sigh and gaze towards a sky which shows no signs of darkening and say, I guess there was something in the room that night which I didn't feel until I met her. Something which, looking back, I couldn't ignore. When you sow a seed, it will grow. Somehow, some way, it will grow." I am a hopeless romantic and I am not ashamed. I guess there was something in the room that night which I didn't feel up until I met her. I'm pretty sure this book was derived from poetry. Anyways, I'm already on chapter 4. Can you believe it? this part, actually, do I know their names? I love it when people share music. I think it's like one of the most intimate ways to get to know someone. I don't know their names. I'm just realizing now that I don't know their names. Basically, they're listening to music and they're sharing music and they just in this bubble. He says, you feel you have never been strangers. You do not want to leave each other because to leave is to have the thing die in its current form. And there's something in this that neither is willing to relinquish. And there's just something beautiful about being in a moment where you feel joy, that you do not want to leave or just stop experiencing this joy. I feel like that's when you kind of realize that, oh, I think I like a person. And I'm smiling and giggling like an idiot. Guys, this is like page 15. The writing here is so beautiful. I'm pretty sure this book was derived from poetry, guys. There's no other way. I don't like pop culture references, but I think this one is done so well. I'm going to like this book. Hi guys, so today is the next day. Still reading Open Water by Caleb. Anyways, I'm currently on page 51. This book is like exceeding all of my expectations. Basically, it's about these two characters, boy meets girl. They're both black and went to a private school, but there were only black kids in that school because it was predominantly white. They are artists. The girl is a dancer and then the guy is a photographer, but he also kind of like writes. This is the first time I think I've read a romance novel that is written by a man that I'm absolutely obsessed with. Pure perfection. I loved it so much. Beautiful quotes after beautiful quotes after beautiful quotes. And also it just talks about being black in white spaces and having to work like twice as hard just to get half of what white people get. It just talked about being like immigrant and having immigrant parents who are not emotionally there for you because they're trying to navigate a new place whilst also raising kids at the same time and trying to provide. Caleb has done so well. I understand why this book is like hyped. It is so good. It's so beautiful. The love story between them, the tension is just amazing. I am absolutely obsessed. Absolutely enjoying this book. I can feel myself getting out of the funk of being in a reading slump. Fun fact also, we don't get names. Like we don't know the two characters' names, which I thought was such an original thing. I've never seen that done before. I just like that part. I'll tell you guys all about it and how I feel when I'm done. I can tell it's already a 5-star. Let's get back into reading. What in the book hangover is going on? What a book hangover. What a book. Yeah. Wow. I am so sorry that I took so long to read this book. I am sorry to Caleb. I'm sorry to this beautiful story that he has written. I am sorry to everyone who has recommended me this book and I took my sweet ass time to read it. Why did I do that? This book, we follow these nameless characters who are artists in London. I think I said this was a third person, but it's actually a second person. And we see things from the man's point of view. I needed to read it from that perspective. I think it not only shone light to things that I've already known, but also it just gave me insights to things that I think about when it comes to the black men. This story is introduced to us as a love story. These two start out as friends and they build up this beautiful friendship which leads them to be in a relationship. There's so much more than just the love story with this book. It's about race. It talks about Black art, one's identity, and how the world see them, especially as Black people. Paid tribute to Black artists, to Black art, to Black writers, to Black women. I think I've mentioned that women are written here. It's the most delicate thing I have read in a very long time. Seeing such a vulnerable, soft man be so vulnerable even to the reader. He's not shying away with what he's feeling, especially when it comes to being Black in a place that deems your body dangerous. The way Caleb writes, how he made me feel, it's amazing. This book feels very jam-packed, and I cried when he was talking about the grief that he feels for his grandmother, and explainable how much I love this book. I'm so mad that it took me so long. The way I have underlined, it's insane. Quotable book. This book is perfection. On my story graph, I give it like 5.75 because I can't say 6 stars over 5 stars. Absolutely love this book. I enjoyed it. It's so perfect. Exceeded my 5-star prediction. Caleb not naming these characters, I think for me it showed such a beautiful representation, because if you're Black, you will definitely see yourself in this book, and this could be anybody's story. It's just what I'm getting from it. To be seen is to be loved. To be loved is the greatest gift in the world. Now that I'm over my book hangover, I'm going to start On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong, and then after this I need to read our book club pick. That's if I find it. Hi guys, a couple of days later, I do have a reading update. Ended up not starting on Briefly, I forgot the title, but I ended up not starting the Ocean Vuong book, but I started A Love Song for Ricki Wilde by Tia Williams. I am enjoying this book, but I do have some problems with it. Before I get into that, let me just tell you what this book is about. So here we're following Ricki Wilde and Breeze Ezra Walker. Ricki Wilde is privileged Black girl, basically like the Black girl bougie elite. She was born into this family that has this huge dynasty of funeral homes. They know what she's supposed to do. You go to business school and join the family business and have your own franchise, and she is the last born. I think she has 2 if not 3 sisters. Do not like her sisters at all. Also do not like her dad. Actually, I just don't like her family. So she's born into this family. She's basically a black sheep. She's more of an artsy type of person, very creative. She meets this Miss Della, who's like 95 years old, when she's trying to make plans for her late husband. Miss Della offers her to come to New York to pursue her dream of being a florist. She opens up her shop, kind of has some difficulties. Then she's there, she meets Ezra. We meet Ezra, and it's in the 1920s. We see him go through the struggles of losing his family, like the KKK. We see him having this grief and moving to New York to join his cousin to pursue his dream of being a pianist. And he gets to New York, he finds success. And the first couple of chapters, we see them as individual, like separate. He got a lot of like world building. I kind of enjoyed that atmosphere of New York in the 1920s, the mood of it all. Not just New York as a whole, but in Harlem. I enjoyed seeing the contrast of how Harlem looked in 2024. Now, we finally met. When I tell you that, I've been so confused because I'm like, how is this possible? How is this possible? Why is this happening? I'm having so many questions. I'm frustrated, and I don't know why Ezra is still alive. I'm sorry if this is a spoiler, guys. I'm really sorry. I need to speak to somebody about this. Ezra is Ezra from the 1920s, but he's living in 2024, and he meets Ricki Wilde. He knows why he's meeting Ricki Wilde, and he knows why they can't really be together. Apparently, if they are together, something bad is going to happen. I was trying to explain this book to my sister, and I feel like it's giving Hancock vibes. Like the writing, I think Tia Williams does such a beautiful job at explaining certain type of feelings. Like, that was overexposure. How she would explain a feeling, how the other person feels about the other person. You know, Tia Williams does this thing of speaking in third person. I don't particularly enjoy, guys. I've never really liked it. I think at a point of the book where like I can't be almost halfway, I still don't know the gist of it. Like, what is it? Like, what is it? It's kind of giving Black history lesson of Harlem and Black people, and I can feel it. And I hate it when books make me feel like, oh, this is actually a lesson. As a whole, I'm not enjoying the book. And I feel like it's going to be meh once I found out why. I just know that whenever they're together, electricity, hotness, tension, love, they can't even explain it. That is all for this update, and I'll see you guys when I'm actually done with the book. And another thing, I'm actually frustrated and tired of the Ezra is portrayed as this mystery man. Okay, I get it, but what's so mysterious about him? So over it. I roll my eyes every single time he says I'm a mystery. Another thing I'm just remembering right now, Ava Mercy from 7 Days in June was actually mentioned. Ariana what are you doing here? Let me carry on reading, guys. They're on a date right now. It's pretty cute. Guys, I'll speak to you guys later. Yeah, it's a million years later, and I've got a couple of stuff to share with you guys. Very quick, very fast. First of all, got a new book, The Nightingale by Christine Hanna. This was actually a recommendation from Tori, and I take Tori's recommendations very seriously. I posted this on my story on Instagram, and a couple of people were like, oh my gosh, you are going to love this. I think it's because they know me. I love to cry. I like to put myself through it. I think I'm due pretty soon. Really excited for this book. Am I out of a slump? But before we actually get to that answer, let's start with this. I finished A Love Song for Ricki Wilde by Tia Williams. I don't get the hype. 2.5 for me. I enjoyed them separately as individuals. I thought they were fully fleshed characters, but collectively, I don't know. Kukhona into Ebi off, and I wasn't a big fan. So what else did I do? I have a confession. I actually started The Wilde Side by Elsie Sylvia. A fun fact about me, I am actually a closeted Elsie Sylvia fan. I think this is the third book in this series. I remember Wild Love. Don't remember Wild Eyes. I'm actually not done with this book. I think it's gotten to a part where, you know, when it's enemies to lovers and they don't like each other and then they actually start liking each other, sometimes it just gets boring, and that's how I feel. I am enjoying it. It's just that now where I'm at, go kind of into off maybe my overexcitement, because this book is a new release. Maybe like my excitement over it is just like over, so that might be the case, but I don't know, cha. To answer your question, the big question, am I out of a slump? I feel like I am. I read Open Water, which was phenomenal, basically my favorite for February, and then I read A Love Song for Ricki Wilde, which was a book club pick. Actually, I'm towards the end of Wild Side. Why am I getting tongue-tied? That is basically all for this video, and I really do hope that you did enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah. Bye.